Hello art journalists, this is Natalie from NK Design. Welcome to another video tutorial. I'm trying to limit myself to only a few products today. Let's see how I go. So here are the products I intend to use: the acrylic paints, a palette knife, a catalyst brush, a Stabilo oil marker in white and a watercolor pencil in black. But you will find them all listed below in the description box. As you can see, I have not prepped my page with masking tape nor gesso, and I've put some protection underneath the pages. I now put randomly some of the paints on my pages and use a palette knife to paint. I don't care about precision, I just want to create some random texture. Here I'm using the catalyst brush. They're so much fun. And I keep on going, keep on layering until I'm happy, for now. The back of a fine brush I scribble into the still wet paint. With my black watercolor pencil, and you can also use a Stabilo oil marker in black, I add some marks. And then I add another layer of white on top of it. The charcoal paint is a little bit too dark for my taste, so I remove most of it with a baby wipe. I then use the paint that I have on the baby wipe to go along the edge. I still want more layers, so I keep adding. And now I'm taking the white Stabilo oil to add some more marks and scribbles. Yeah, I think this looks nice. That's it, I think. What do you guys think? I now want to add a flower. I've seen it on Pinterest and I create this one out of memory. This way you have a rough idea how to make it, but you still make it your own. I start by painting the heart of the flower. I remember the stems of the petals were like a grey with a little bit of purple and magenta, so I'm mixing the color here. With a small flat brush, I then start pulling lines all around, and sometimes I add a little bit more magenta. The ends of the petals were a little bit more purple magenta, so I'm mixing up that color, and then use a Q-tip to add some dots to the flower. This is only the first layer. I then add some more stripes and more dots, so the first ones appear more in the background. So now I'm applying the dots to the flower that appear more in the foreground. I wanted to add some white lines, but I wasn't so happy, so I covered them up with paint again. Also, I didn't like the shape at the bottom, so I corrected that. Now I'm adding the white lines with a fine Posca marker in white. I like where this is going. And for a little bit of contrast, I now add some fine lines in black with Davenport's Epic pen. With the same pen, I'm adding some texture to the heart of the flower, and then later covered it up a little bit with paint, just so that it doesn't look so stark. And here I'm mixing in a little bit of grey in the purple, just to get some dimension happening. For some drop shadow, I'm adding watercolor pencil in purple and magenta, and then activate it with a water brush. I do this in little steps because it's always so much easier to add more color, but it's very hard to remove them if it's too much. To also add a little bit of dimension to the top of the heart, I'm adding a little bit of magenta watercolor pencil. I want to add some highlights to the texture of the heart, so I'm using a wider Posca marker and just add dots, and then remove most of it again with a slightly damp baby wipe. And since I'm still not happy with the dimension and drop shadow, I'm adding more watercolor pencil. You can also use your water brush to pick up some pigments directly from your watercolor pencil. Once I'm happy with that, I move on to the title. I have decided to add the quote with India ink and a brush. Adding my date stamp, and I call this one done. I hope you have truly enjoyed watching this video. Please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already done so. I see you next time. Until then, happy arting!